What if I told you that the coin resting unnoticed in someone's dusty change jar could actually be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? The Susan B. Anthony dollar, often overlooked and mistaken for a quarter, hides shocking secrets that have stunned collectors worldwide. Minted in 1979, this coin was America's bold attempt to honor a legendary woman. Yet what lies behind its small, silvery surface are mysteries of rarity, errors, and hidden mint marks that could transform a single dollar into a breathtaking fortune. Let's uncover the truth behind the coins that changed U.S. history and collectors' wallets forever. Among all the Susan B. Anthony dollars, the 1979 D is one that often surprises collectors, not for its looks, but for the hidden treasures it carries. Minted in Denver, the D mark on the coin's obverse tells a story of history, production quirks, and some jaw-dropping values that nobody expected from a coin many people once rejected. Let's start from the beginning. When this coin hit circulation, the United States Mint hoped it would replace the cumbersome $1 paper note. But the public wasn't ready. The coin was small, silvery, and shockingly similar to the Washington quarter, causing confusion everywhere. Most Americans tossed them aside. Yet, decades later, this same coin has become a collector's obsession, especially the 1979 D variety. The 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollar was minted in massive numbers, over 288 million pieces. Yet not all are equal. Some have razor-sharp strikes, others carry subtle die variations, and a few even display rare minting flaws that send value skyrocketing. The coin's obverse features the bold portrait of Susan B. Anthony, the fearless women's rights leader whose fight for equality made her a historic American icon. On the reverse, the eagle landing on the moon, inspired by the Apollo 11 mission patch, makes this coin one of the most symbolically rich designs in U.S. history. But here's where it gets shocking. While regular 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollars may be worth only $1 to $3 in circulated condition, high-grade versions with pristine luster, sharp detail, and minimal blemishes can easily cross $100 to $300. And if you're lucky enough to own one graded MS-67 or higher, you're holding something that could fetch $800 or more, all for a coin that once jingled like pocket change. Now, let's dive deeper. The value explosion often happens due to strike quality and mint state preservation. The Denver Mint, known for powerful striking equipment, produced some exceptionally detailed coins. You can actually see the sharpness in Anthony's hair strands and the eagle's feathers if your coin was struck early in the die's life. Collectors crave those coins. They look alive, shimmering with depth and clarity. And then there's something even more exciting. The wide rim and narrow rim confusion that began with the Philadelphia Mint also spilled into the general Susan B. Anthony discussion, making all 1979 issues suddenly worth examining closely. Although the Denver coins don't have a wide rim variety, collectors often compare rim thickness and alignment, hoping to discover a slight variation that could boost value. But what truly ignited the collector fire around the 1979 D issue are the minting errors, the kind that slip through unnoticed, only to later make headlines in auctions. Imagine finding a double die obverse, where Anthony's name or the date appears slightly doubled under magnification. That simple imperfection can make a $1 coin worth $500 to $1,000. Even more jaw-dropping are off-center strikes, where the design appears partially missing or misaligned. These quirky accidents can command $700 to $1,500 depending on how dramatic the error is. Then comes the proof-like or PL finish, extremely rare for the Denver Mint circulation strikes. A 1979 D Susan B. Anthony with mirrored fields and frosty design elements could easily be worth several $100s or more, as collectors hunt for those few coins that appear to have proof-like brilliance straight from circulation. Here's another shocking twist. Though the coin is clad in copper nickel, the demand for visually stunning specimens has turned even this common metal into a collectible treasure. Some collectors pay top prices for rainbow-tone examples, where age and chemical reactions give the coin a shimmering, colorful surface, sometimes purple, blue, or gold hues. A beautifully toned 1979 D can bring $400 to $800 depending on eye appeal alone. And while most people might think of the Susan B. Anthony series as dull or unpopular, collectors now realize how crucial it is. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real woman, not a symbolic figure, a moment that forever reshaped the direction of American coin design. So, every 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar you hold carries more than metallic value. It's a historic tribute to equality and progress. Now, here's the real kicker. Many of these coins went straight into storage after the public refused them. The government later released millions in the 1990s, but among those were high-quality mint state survivors that had never been touched. That's why modern collectors love grading these coins. It's a hunt through forgotten bags and rolls that can lead to unexpected fortune. One particularly stunning example, a 1979 D-graded MS-68 by PCGS, sold for nearly $1,400 at auction. That's right, a simple dollar coin turned into more than a $1,000 payday because of perfect preservation. And as time passes, high-grade survivors are becoming scarcer, pushing prices even higher. So, when you come across a Susan B. Anthony dollar with that little D mark beneath the portrait, don't dismiss it as change. Look closer. Check the luster, the details, the surface. You might be staring at a coin that the world once ignored, but collectors now crave. The 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar represents more than just metal. It's a bridge between American history and modern collecting passion. It tells a story of rejection turned to admiration, of simplicity turned to scarcity, and of a single mint mark that can transform a dull coin into a dazzling collectible. And who knows? The next one hiding in your old change jar could be the key to your next $1,000 surprise. Next up, 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar, the first of its kind, the first year of issue, and one of the most misunderstood treasures in U.S. coin history. It came from the Philadelphia Mint, the mint that started it all, and carries a story that no collector saw coming. When people first saw it, many mistook it for a quarter, and that simple confusion made this coin vanish from daily use. But what disappeared from pockets soon reappeared in collector vaults, and now, its hidden versions can bring absolutely shocking amounts of money. The 1979 P coin was America's grand experiment, a small-sized dollar designed to be practical, modern, and durable. But it was so close in size and color to the Washington quarter that most Americans flat-out refused to use it. Millions of these coins ended up sitting untouched in government vaults for decades, waiting to be rediscovered. And that's exactly where the story turns from failure to fortune. Among the millions struck in Philadelphia, a few special rim varieties were created, the wide rim and narrow rim, also called near-date and far-date versions. This difference might seem tiny, just the spacing between the numbers and the edge, but it completely changes the coin's desirability. Let's start with the standard narrow rim. It's the common version, seen on most 1979 P dollars. These usually trade for $1 to $2 in circulated condition, and maybe $5 to $10 if bright and uncirculated. But the wide rim, oh, that's where the shock begins. The wide rim was a late-year modification where the design was pulled closer to the edge, making the rim appear thicker. It's subtle, but collectors know it instantly. Today, a genuine 1979 P wide rim dollar can easily fetch $200 to $300 in mint state, and pristine examples graded MS-67 or MS-68 have shattered expectations by selling for $1,000 to $2,500 for a coin that most people still mistake for a quarter. But wait, the value explosion doesn't stop there. Some 1979 P coins display dramatic minting errors that send collectors into a frenzy. There are double-die obverse, where the lettering or the date looks slightly doubled under magnification. Depending on clarity and placement, those can command $400 to $800 or more. And then there are the offsetter strikes, where parts of Susan B. Anthony's portrait are literally missing due to a misalignment during minting. These wild mistakes have sold for $1,000 to $2,000 at auctions. Even more jaw-dropping are the clip planchet errors, when a portion of the coin's edge is missing like someone took a tiny bite out of it. Collectors love these, and depending on size and condition, they can bring $250 to $800 easily. Now, let's talk about condition, because with Susan B. Anthony dollars, that's everything. The 1979 P coins that survived decades without a single scratch or fingerprint are the ones transforming simple pocket change into serious money. A regular 1979 P graded MS65 might bring around $30 to $50, but bump it to MS67, and you're looking at $300 to $500. At MS68, where the luster glows like liquid silver and every detail pops with precision, the coin can soar past $1,500 or more. But the real treasures? Proof-like coins, the rare few that have mirror-like surfaces despite not being official proofs. These look as though they came from a proof set, shimmering under light, with frosty portraits floating over reflective backgrounds. A 1979 P with that kind of surface has fetched over $800 simply for its brilliance. And then there are the rainbow tone examples, coins that, through years of storage, developed natural iridescent colors: blue, violet, gold, green. Collectors go crazy for beautiful toning. A vividly toned 1979 P wide-rim dollar once brought $1,200 in an online auction purely for its eye appeal. It's like holding art created by time itself. The Philadelphia Mint's coins also have a unique fingerprint, their softer strike. Compared to the sharp Denver versions, the Philly coins often look a little flatter, especially in Susan B. Anthony's hair and the eagle's feathers. Finding one with strong, crisp detail is rare, and that rarity drives up the price. The finest known examples are absolute showpieces, and investors are paying big to own them. Let's not forget what makes this coin historic. The 1979 P was the first small-sized dollar ever minted in the United States, and the first to feature a real American woman. It was revolutionary in symbolism, even if unpopular in pockets. When people talk about U.S. coin design evolution, from Liberty to Eisenhower to modern innovation, this coin is the bridge. It was bold, misunderstood, and decades ahead of its time. Now here's something few people realize. The 1979 P dollar is also found in souvenir mint sets, and those versions sometimes carry exceptional quality. If you find one sealed from the original 1979 souvenir set, you might just discover a near-perfect strike worth hundreds. Another shocking detail, the die polish lines. Some collectors hunt for coins with visible polish marks in the fields. These can prove early die use, adding to appeal and value. Coins with reflective fields and crisp detail are frequently labeled specimen-like, and though rare, they've drawn prices well above $500. And if you ever encounter a 1979 P dollar with an unusually thick planchet or one that rings differently when dropped, you might have a wrong planchet error struck on a blank mint for another coin type. Those rarities can blow past $3,000 to $5,000, depending on weight and verification. What's even wilder is how demand keeps growing. Collectors once ignored these coins, but as more people discover the subtle differences between rims, strikes, and surfaces, the market has exploded. Prices that were $50 a few years ago are now triple or more, especially for certified wide-rim specimens. In one auction, a PCGS-graded 1979 P wide-rim MS67 hammered for $2,232, shocking even veteran dealers. Another MS68 example sold privately for over $4,000. Reportedly to a collector completing a first year of issue registry set. That's the kind of money turning once-forgotten pocket change into real investments. So next time you see a 1979 P Susan B. Anthony dollar, grab a magnifier. Look for that P mint mark, study the rim, check for clean surfaces and deep luster. You might just be holding a $2,000 surprise disguised as a coin no one wanted. This little silver-clad disc tells a story of innovation, rebellion, and redemption. A coin rejected by the public, but adored by collectors. It stands as proof that even something ordinary can become extraordinary with time. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is not just currency. It's a time capsule of American change, both literal and symbolic. And somewhere out there, in a forgotten jar, another wide-rimmed gem might still be waiting, ready to shock the next collector who discovers its hidden worth. Next up, another 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar. Imagine opening a drawer and finding another 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar, and realizing this one isn't just another coin, it's the right one. The one with the perfect gleam, the rare finish, or the microscopic flaw that changes its destiny forever. It looks ordinary, but in the collector's world, this exact piece can spark bidding wars that climb from a single dollar to thousands in seconds. Yes, the same 1979 P coin you might toss in a vending machine has versions that collectors dream about. Versions so stunning, they've turned spare change into shocking profit stories across the country. Let's take this slow because the secrets of this coin deserve it. The Philadelphia minted 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar marked the dawn of America's short-lived small dollar era. It was supposed to modernize the nation's currency, but the public's rejection made it a hidden relic instead. And that's exactly what makes it so valuable now. Forgotten coins from a failed idea reborn as collectible gold mines. But here's what really sets this other 1979 P apart. Subtle production quirks, special finishes, and breathtaking mint errors that have made this coin one of the hottest topics in modern numismatics. Let's start with the basics, the wide rim, near date, variety again. Most people have heard about it, but very few truly know how rare high-grade specimens are. The Philadelphia Mint adjusted the rim spacing midway through production to prepare for better die alignment, and those coins, struck from new, crisp dies, have that signature thicker border and slightly closer date. It sounds like a small detail, but in the grading world, it's massive. A Gem Mint 1979 P wide rim, graded MS-68, with blazing luster and no contact marks recently sold for a jaw-dropping $5,463. That's not rumor. It's public record. Why? Because collectors today crave first-year varieties, and the 1979 P sits at the top of that list. And here's where it gets wilder. This specific issue has occasionally shown transitional planchet errors. A few rare 1979 P Susan B. Anthony dollars were mistakenly struck on planchets meant for the Eisenhower dollar or even the SBA proof issue, causing unusual weights or smoother fields. Those oddities can bring $2,000 to $6,000, depending on the anomaly. Even minor errors create huge excitement. Double strikes where parts of Anthony's face or lettering are repeated. Die cracks that snake across her cheek or the reverse eagle's wings. Dramatic examples can reach $700 to $1,200. Rotated dies that twist the reverse design out of alignment, worth $300 plus. Each one tells a story straight from the mint floor, a moment of imperfection that now commands perfection-level prices. Collectors also chase what's called early die state brilliance. Coins struck right after the dies were polished. These coins have mirror-like fields and icy frost on the portrait, resembling proof coins even though they were regular circulation strikes. Under good lighting, they flash like liquid silver. One of these proof-like 1979 P dollars graded MS-67 PL once hit $1,900 simply because it looked like a mirror, but it doesn't stop at surfaces. Color makes headlines too. A naturally toned 1979 P Susan B. Anthony dollar, glowing in deep blue, magenta, or golden hues, can hypnotize collectors. Some tone because of mint-set packaging or decades of storage in paper envelopes. A rainbow-toned example recently brought $1,750, while another with fiery orange and violet sold privately for over $2,000. That's pure art born by chemistry. Now, let's shift to what makes this coin emotionally powerful. The Susan B. Anthony dollar wasn't just metal. It was a message, the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real American woman. Every detail of Anthony's determined expression symbolizes the struggle for equality. Collectors don't just see value in silver-nickel alloy. They see a symbol of courage stamped in metal. Owning this coin feels like holding a piece of history that fought its way into existence. When the series debuted in 1979, few realized they were witnessing a turning point. The design's mix of modern geometry and classic symbolism set the stage for future small dollar coins like the Sacagawea and presidential dollars. The 1979 PE became the blueprint, and that gives it monumental historical weight. Now imagine this. Your coin looks normal, but you send it for grading. Weeks later, you open the results, MS67 wide rim. Suddenly, that forgotten dollar is a $1,500 plus gem. Or maybe the grading company spots a faint double die feature on Liberty. That detail alone can rocket the price to $2,000. Stories like this happen constantly, which is why collectors examine every millimeter of these coins under bright LED lights and magnifiers. Even the plain, narrow rim coins aren't worthless. In pristine condition, they can still bring $150 to $400. Why? Because the supply of untouched mint state coins is shrinking fast. Bags of uncirculated Susan B. Anthony's stored in bank vaults have been opened, searched, and picked over. What remains are the survivors, the top-rated coins that grow rarer with every year. Here's the fun part, the hunt. Coin roll hunters across America buy sealed rolls of Susan B. Anthony dollars from banks or the U.S. Mint's leftover stock, hoping to uncover hidden wide rims or errors. Some have turned a $25 roll into thousands overnight. One collector famously found a stunning MS67 wide rim in a roll and sold it for $1,850 the same week. That's the thrill that keeps treasure hunters searching. Let's not forget about the historical backdrop. The Philadelphia Mint struck 360,222,000 Susan B. Anthony dollars that year, a massive number. Yet only a fraction remain in collectible condition. Most were melted, released, or worn. Scarcity isn't about mintage anymore. It's about survival. The few untouched coins left are the ones making news. And if you want one last shocking figure, a 1979 P wide rim MS68 recently appeared at auction with a pre-sale estimate of $4,000 to $6,000. Bidders pushed it over $5,000 in minutes. That's not hype. It's history repeating itself. So, when you hold another 1979 P Susan B. Anthony dollar, don't underestimate it. Flip it under bright light. Look for the rim. Examine the details around the date. Search for doubling, color, or extraordinary shine. You might just be staring at a coin that's worth more than your phone, more than your laptop, maybe even more than your monthly salary. This coin teaches one unforgettable truth. Sometimes, the treasures we overlook are the ones that shock us the most. The second 1979 P Susan B. Anthony dollar proves that even common coins can carry uncommon fortune, if you know what to look for. So keep your eyes open, because the next gleaming Anthony dollar that slips through your fingers could be the one that changes everything. A $1 coin that holds the power of a $1,000 surprise.